Hi class, this is JilMac. I'm the instructor for the Community College of Vermont, and today I'm going to be going over assignment 10 and specifically chapter 15 in our textbooks, which is HTML and CSS, the 8th edition, on page 389. So first to kind of go over what we're doing in this assignment. This is assignment 10 of 14. Just a little review. You can always go out to neog.org and see what's going on at our user group down here in Brattleboro. You get 2 extra credit points if you come and attend a user group meeting. And that's just because I'm there. I'll know you're there and probably just talk with you a little bit, so you don't really have to turn anything in. But if you go to, there's other extra credit opportunities. You can go online and find another user group, whether it's an online user group or an on-ground, and you get 1 credit for each 100 words you share about your experience. So that's always an open one, because there's so many great experiences, and I've been enjoying listening or reading about your user groups that you've been joining and all the interesting things and how it affects you, kind of using user groups, especially here in Vermont where we're all pretty rural except for those up in the Burlington area. It's hard to find birds of a feather or people who are doing the same thing you are. But out on the internet, there's always people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. The world is shrinking. And so you can find those people and kind of choose who you hang out with. And not just because of a physical location, because online can be anywhere in the world. So that's just kind of a little review about that. Chapter 15 lists. Now in my assignment 10 page in my Google website, I have put a link so that I can go right out to the examples in the textbook. And I think it just makes it easier to kind of look at the examples and then while you're reading the chapter. So I'm just going to go over a few examples in chapter 15. So let's look at those code examples, and we're going to bring it out to assignment 15, and let me blow this up a little bit so we can see them. Now, to kind of understand what is chapter 15 doing is we're looking at lists. So this is what we call an ordered list, and an ordered list says it's going to be numbers 1 through whatever. It's going to have an order to them. An unordered list is going to default to just using the dot as an indicator of things in your list. Unordered list spacing, you see a lot of spacing here, but let's just go back to this unordered list, and I'm going to go into my Chrome developer tools, which I could use the shortcut Control-Shift-I, but it's a little bit easier to see if I cascade them down. And I'm talking about menus cascading down because lists are great, but where the power of lists comes in is that you can kind of incorporate it to make menus also. So if we go into the developer tools, we're going to look at the HTML in our elements here. And as we open it up, we're going to see that we're going to see what the code is. And to make a list, an unordered list, it's bracket OL. So it's this right here. Bracket OL makes an unordered, it makes an ordered list. OL makes an ordered list. And LI is just something in your ordered list. So that's the code that makes this right here. Now, there isn't any CSS in this. We're not doing any CSS. This is just raw HTML using HTML ordered list code with the lists underneath. We have an opening list tag and a closing list tag. So in this one, there's no CSS. That's correct. Okay, so let's look at the ordered list. So let's go down and look at the ordered list. Oops, let's scroll down to chapter 15. We can just kind of pop in and out. So here's what an unordered list looks like. And let's go to the elements again and open up that. So an unordered list is bracket UL. That's an unordered list. Ordered list is OL, unordered list is UL. And once again, there isn't any CSS in this. We are using some, it is going out and using a Chrome extension, some JavaScript, but that's just to detect if what kind of a browser and stuff you have. Okay, so that's ordered list, pretty straightforward. And you could take this code right here, you could block copy it, and you could paste it into a Google site and it would look the same if you did it from the HTML. So each of the examples in chapter 15 just go into different features of, oops, I made it a little bit bigger so it kind of popped down to, you know, choosing your markers says you don't have to use just numbers or dots. You can also choose that you would like to use Roman numerals. And if we looked at the developer toolbar or just a view source, whichever, to look at this, you could see that once again we're using an unordered list here, and in our header we are now using unordered list spacing. We are now using a CSS that and also an inline style, which is just a Chrome sniffer. That's just JavaScript. Nope. Some fonts and different things are being used, and for an LI, oops, let's go down here. In the LI, it's telling it right here in the LI in the CSS that it wants to use list style type upper Roman. So how do we find out all of these LIs? I'm just going to open up a window and go to the DOM. So I'm going to just Google, I want to Google the DOM for HTML for a list. So here is the HTML list object. Here's the HTML list object. And, oh, no, I don't want that one. I kind of looked at it, it was over in the HTML. So HTML, and if we go to the list, if we scroll over here, you're going to see, now I'm just in the HTML, so I clicked HTML. I scroll down and here's HTML lists. When I go into HTML lists, I can see that this is an unordered example and this is an ordered example. And we can go and look at this example and we can do a try it yourself, which you can do on your phone or tablet. We see that this is an unordered list, so we just have dots. Let me blow this up a little bit. So we have this unordered list and it's just dots. There's no numbers. But if I change this to an ordered list and I closed it as an ordered list, you might be able to get away with not closing it in some browsers, but it's better to do that, and click see the results. Now we've changed that from an unordered list to an ordered list. So the OL is ordered list, the UL is unordered list. So that's what we have in our try it. As you scroll down through, you see that there's different styles. List style type disk. The list items will be marked with bullets. That's the default. You can use circles, and then it will be marked with a circle or a square, or it's not going to be marked at all. And there's times that we use this, especially if we're using it in a menu, pull down menus and things like that we're going to look at.